Shuklambaradharam Vishnu Chaturbhujam
Prasannavadanam dhyaye sarva vighnopashantaye.
Prasanavadalam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashante
Agajanana padmarkam gajanana maharnisham.
Agajanana Padmarkam Gajanana Maharnisham
Anekadam tam bhaktanam ekadam tam dupasmahe.
Anekadantam Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmaye
Krishnam kamalapatraksham punyasravana kirtanam.
Krishnam Kamalapatraksham Punyak Shravana Kirtanam
Vasudevam jagadvandyam naumi narayanam harim.
Vasudevam Jagatvandyam Naumi Narayanam Harim.
So we are there in the concluding part of the speech by Prahlada to all his colleagues after the samhara of his father by Narsimha, and Narsimhavatara was withdrawn, and now Prahlada takes the role of a good acharya to all his, and therefore in 277, 5, I think we go from that. So he is now defining in the 275, one time you tell Kevalanubhavananda Swarupaha Parameshwaraha.
Kevalanubhavananda Swarupaha Parameshwaraha
Mayantarhitaihi Aiswarya Iyate Gunasargaya.
Mayayantar hitaihi
Aishwarya Iyate
Aishwaryate Guna Sargaya
Tasmat Sarveshu Bhuteshu
Tasmat Sarveshu Bhuteshu
Dayam Kuruta Sauhrudam.
Dayam Kuruta Sauhrudam Dayam Kuruta Sauhrudam
Bhavamasuраmunmuchya.
Bhavamasuраmunmuchya Bhavamasuраmunmuchya
Yaya tushyatyadochataha.
Taya tushyat yato adosajah
Adochadaha. So in 275 and 276 slokas, this ultimately he comes to the conclusion that Guna Sargaya Mayaya Antarhita Iswaryam Ishate. So because of the Guna Sarga, that is Sattva, Raja and Tamoguna, the Rakshasas are more interested in the Rajaguna and Tamasaguna, and they don't much promote the Sattva Guna. And moreover, these people try to explore and all that, getting more and more riches, Aiswaryam. And all Aiswarya is Maya, illusion. What is Maya? Simple definition of Maya is Ya Nasti Sa Maya. What is not permanent is Maya. What is permanent is Iswara. That's what you say. Parameshwaraha Kevala Anubhavananda Swarupaha. The Iswara is only in experience, not in visibility. Therefore, so Aiswarya and Ananda. Aiswarya, Ananda is temporary. And Ananda Aiswarya is permanent. If you consider or Shanti or Shama as real wealth, then you are happy. If you consider not the other way around, you are unhappy. One famous example I tell you from Bhagavatam and also in Narayaniam. When Samudra Mathanam took place, most of the precious things came up. And ultimately, penultimately, I should say, there came up a lot of Varuni. Varuni means the drink, intoxicating drink. wine and all that, vainu, rammu, whatever you call, that drink in plenty came from the ocean. The Rakshasas were enamored of that. When Varuni came up, they loved drinking more and more. So they just snatched away all the drinking and they drank and became unaware. When all the Rakshasas are unaware in the project, then this Dhanvantari with the Amrita Kalashas, he comes up. Vishnu, Dhanvantari, Amrita Kalasha Hasta, with Amrita Kalashas, he comes up. And the Rakshasas were in semi-consciousness, in the sense that, oh, though they drank that Maruni, but still Kamalavaji was present yesterday. So they were, they just observed that now Amrita Kalashas have come up. So the Rakshasas are quicker than the gods. Samanyanga. So they snatched away the Amrita Kalasha from the hands of Dhanvantari and went away. They wanted. But immediately Vishnu becomes a Mohini, and these Rakshasas, looking at such a exquisite Mohini, Krishna, then they came to Mohini and requested her to distribute the Amritam to all of them. That's how the Mohini had a wonderful opportunity to take hold of the responsibility of distributing the Amritam. But one more important thing is that Mohini put a condition like Durgamma. See, Durgamma put a condition to Sumbhari Shambhas that if anybody, I have got a bad habit, anybody who wins me in war, then only him I will marry. This is the Kanya Sulkam. Then Sumbhani Shambhas were put into trouble. They came into war. They failed. So the idea of marrying Devi comes up because she is very beautiful. Same way, when Mohini came, all these people became enamored and asked her. Then they said, no, I will be doing some bad mistakes also. Bad mistakes I will be doing. You should tolerate and not punish me. Only then I take this responsibility. But somehow they wanted the Mohini to do the job. Beautiful. So they can forget the actual act, looking at her beauty and styles and fashion and etc. That's exactly what the present day children are doing. They look at the TV while eating the food. They don't know what food is served to them. Even if you remove the food plate, they don't mind. So this is what is the Maya, Rakshasa Maya or that. Then that Mohini is so managed that the entire part of the Amrita was emptied, distributed to the. Later on, the Rakshasas had all, so they separate. Like that, here he is telling that Gunasargaya, Mayaya, Antarhitaihi Aiswaryam. Antarhita Aiswarya is what is not visible, what is not available easily. You fret for that. You work for that. And so that is what it is. Something like going for a Parijata Pushpa by Bhima, Gandhamadana Parvatam going. But it is really tough, even Krishna going for that, because that is the Antarhita Aiswarya. And even Antarhita Aiswarya is that golden deer for Rama. You know, Lakshmana is there. You could have asked Lakshmana to go and bring the golden deer for his wife. No, one poet says that, no. See, because Sita, he loved her too much. Why he loved Sita too much? Because she is one wife, only wife, accepted and arranged and approved by his father Dasaratha. So that's why that Dara is one approved by his father. Therefore, Pitru na Krutam Dara. So she's that. Therefore, he loved so much. So he said, no, you take care of Sita Devi here in the Hermitage. I go and bring her. It is my pleasure. I should go and bring that because I love my wife. Then Lakshmana has nothing. He remained in the. So this is all vidhi, how it turns. But anyway, that's how here, Antarhita Ishwara. I can keep on talking, but let us go to next sloka. Therefore, he comes to the conclusion, Tasmat sarveshu bhusheshu sauhrudam dayam kuruta. So he advised all the Rakshasa community to then that dayam kuruta, you please be showing compassion and daya. But daya should also be characterized. What kind of daya you should show? Saurudam daya. Understand? Suhrutatvam, that is friendly compassion. Not unfriendly compassion. People in cinemas, you see unfriendly compassions, you can see that. Friendly compassion or karuna and unfriendly karuna is there. So unfriendly karuna, just to give you example, suddenly a teacher finds his student smoking. Then, hey, you are smoking, how is it? Then the student replies, sir, the cigarette factory people are simply preparing these cigarettes. I want to burn them out. So I'm burning the cigarettes, sir. So I'm smoking, sir. You can imagine that kind of explanation. That's exactly what it is called. Daya upon the cigarettes, but it is not a Saurud daya. He is harming himself. But Prahlada is telling, please have that Saurudha Hridayam. And why? Because Asuram Bhavam Unmuchya. What is the Daya Saurudam? He says that Asura Bhavam Unmuchya. You have to drop down the tamasic daya. The tamasic daya is always painful. And therefore, because once you give up the tamasic daya, or when you give up the tamasic garuna, then adhotshaja will be very, very, very happy. Adhotshaja ante akshaja, adhotshaja is Mahavishnu always looks at lifting up the people who are in a very bad status. Uddharana. Uddharana is the principle for the Mahavishnu. So Uddhari, Vedan Uddharate, Jagannivahnute, Bhugola Mudhruchyate, like that Jayadeva sings in Gita Govindam. What is Krishna's duty? He is trying to lift up good and suppress down the bad. And the next two slokas are also very interesting. Just read and then stop because I'm not very much. See, 10, 15 for you. Another few minutes. Please repeat. Tushte cha tatra kimalabhyamanantamadye.
Tushte cha tatra kim labhyamananta adye.
Kim taihi gunaihi vyatikara iha ye susiddhaha.
Can we break this, sir?
Kim tair gunaihi.
Kim tair gunaihi. Kim tair gunaihi.
Vyatikaradi.
Vyatikaradi.
Iha ye swasiddhaha.
Iha ye swasiddha.
Swasiddhaha. Dharmadayaha.
Dharmadayaha.
Kimagune cha kanchitena.
Kimagune cha kankshitena.
Saram jusham charanayoho.
Saram jusham charanayoho. Saram
Jusham charanayoho.
Saram jusham charanayoho.
Upagayatam naha.
Upagayatam naha.
Jnanam tadetadakhilam.
Jnanam tadetadakhilam.
Duravapamahuhu.
Duravapamahuhu.
Narayano narasakaha kila.
Narayano narasakaha kila.
Naradaya.
Naradaya.
Ekantikanam bhagavataha.
Ekantikanam bhagavataha.
Tadakinchananam.
Tadakinchananam.
Padaravindarajasa.
Padaravindarajasa.
Plutadehinam syatu.
Tadehinam syat.
So these two are the important conclusive a conclusive statement or teaching by Prahlada to all the Rakshasas, that he says that tushti is important in 271 sloka. Then if you have got the tushti, there is not, what is that not, you cannot get it. So tushti, that's why even Taittiriya Upanishad, tushtihi vrushtau daivi sangnaha. In Taittiriya Upanishad, they say manushi sangna and daivi sangnaha. In manushi sangna, they say that kshema iti vachi, yoga kshema iti prana panayo. Having said about the human gestures, then the same Taittiriya Rishi tells you the daivi. In daivi, that whatever vrushti comes, there should be tushti. If there is no tushti in the vrushti, we will be nash. That's why asantushtaha dvijo nashtaha. They said that. So santushti is important. That's why tushti is important. If not, and moreover, all the gunas are already available in the world. But if we have got a vyatikara gunas in us, tamasa and tajasa and dull sattva, then we cannot realize them, because the anubhava is important. And all this good will not come into our experience, because all the siddha gunas like dharma, tapasu, gnana, all these are gunas. And these gunas cannot be practiced or known by a person who does not love them, who does not honor them, value them. Because therefore, what is the essence of all the gunas is only to sing the glory of Narayana, the Adhokshaja. And in the next sloka, he says that Akhilam Gnanam Duravapam. It is ordinarily impossible for all human beings to master the whole knowledge, Vedantic knowledge, wholesale. Wholesale knowledge of Vedantic Gnana is impossible for human life, because the span of life for human beings always limited. What you can do in 10 decades, Amma, first 2 decades gone, through 2.5 decades gone in education, the next 2.5 decades gone in earning, family, maintenance, moving, etc. And other 2-3 decades gone in worries, getting the responsibilities reduced. And another decades will go in worry and sleep and all. That's why Krishna, that Shankaracharya says that, see, worry is there. See, he will not be happy, always thinking about the family and mundane world. So life goes. And on the other hand also, 50% of 50 years of life we sleep, and 8 years we take bath, 12 years we eat, and 4 years we spend for education. So like that, our 100 years is being spent, accounting our 100 years. Therefore, he says, Duravapam ahuho. All munis, all saints tell that you cannot get wholesale knowledge, Vijnanam. Then what is the way? Because our life is that. Narayano Narasakaha Kila. If you just remember Narayana and do puja and padasevana and smarana, kirtana, Navavida bhaktis are there, then we are getting all the gnana, because Narayano Vedaha, Narayano Smrutihi, Narayano, like that, everything is Narayanayam Jagat. And all that Narayanatvam you can feel in Narada. He brings the name of Narada, who is the very much embodiment of the Gnanam. So wherever he goes, wherever he moves, Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Because Nara is Gnanam. Ayana is going on with Anam. That's why Gnani. A Gnani will be ready to learn even at the deathbed. Oh, in Satokta idine nangeke Gnana bedri antare. I heard some old people, retired gentlemen having all luxury, come to the lecture, listen to this kind of philosophical talk. And that fellow said, sir, I have obtained all these things. I know what little thing, I know certain things. Why do I want more things? I don't want scripture, sir. I don't want to come discourse. What can we do for them? And some people are there, because of looking at me, they come and occupy the last benches and sleep in the talk. And afterwards, I come and ask them, what, ಸರ್ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಗಲಾಟೆ, ಸೊಸೆ ಬೆಕ್ಕಳು ಮೊಮ್ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ಏನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಲೀಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೆ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ, ನಂತೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ರಾಕಿಂಗ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ಲೀವಿಂಗ್, that kind of, no, that is not the way. So Narayano Narasakha is the friend of all human beings, and Narada is the, everybody is a Narada. Narada means a reporter, Narada means journalist, and Narada is the first journalist and reporter. Actually the journalism begins from Narada Maharshi. And Ekantikanam Bhagavataha Tadakinchananam Padaravindarajasa Plutadehinam Syat. If you are to have that Pladaravinda Rajas, the dust of the Aravinda, of the Padaravinda Paramatma, were to touch you, you are highly benefited. This Padaravinda Rajas is being described beautifully by Shankaracharya in Saundarya Lahari. అమ్మవారి పాదముల డస్ట్ తీసుకొని the Manmatha became stronger, all weaklings became stronger, people made lot of achievement because of the Padaravinda, because it is said, Shankaracharya says, Tavahi Charanaveva Nipunao, only your charanas are really helpful, because all four hands are four weapons, you have not, hands free, and your eye is only free. And so your drushti and your pada, these are the only two free things to you, Amma. You please give me. Like that, even in Bhagavatam, there are I can keep on talking about the power of the Padaravinda Rajas. The Rajas means dust or the Karuna. So the Karuna emitting out of Padaravindam, because the Vishnu Pada is very, very powerful. So Vishnu Padodbhavam Gangam Namami. When even Ganga river is from Pada, that means Papanasani Ganga. She is just washing off all the papas of all people. At the same time, she is taking your punya also. That's the truth, that's the philosophy of Ganga river. So Ganga is very clever. She absorbs your punya and relieves you from papam. It's a beauty. That's why people are clamoring to go to Ganga river. And also, if you put some Ganga water in the mouth of a going to die person, he will get rid of all pada. Tulsi Tirtha and Ganga Panam, if they make it, normally Ganga water nobody drinks. But it is taken as aposhanam at the time of death. Then all papas are removed, and Tulsi Tirtham makes you to get that. So Tulsi Tirtham Ganga Panam at the end is recommended. But normally this Tulsi Tirtham and all that is different. So like that, there is a lot of religious connections in the Bhagavatam, because Bhagavatam is our desk book, because that will be always giving you a lot of instructions. And I'll spend some time more next class on these 4 slokas, because they are so contentful and you will be really happy. So because I don't want people in India to have more time to spend upon this Bhagavatam, because the Yoga Nidra they will be waiting for, because whatever Nidra comes is yogic. That means you forget your time, you forget your mind, you forget your Indriyas, you forget all worries. And even Sita Devi was worried. I want to get some dream, at least in dream I can see Rama. I can't, unless I sleep, I don't get dream. So unfortunately, Nidra Devi is not obliging Sita. That's what is when Anjaneya meets Hanuman, meets Sita, Sita complains, I want that, you are very lucky. I don't get sleep even to at least see Rama in my dream. So that is the status. But now sleep is a wonderful job which everybody must undergo. Om Swasti. Om Sarvam Sri Krishnarpanamastu.
Om Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Om Sarvam Shri Matrucharanaravindharpanamastu. Om Tatsatu.
Beautiful, it is not. So anyway, little time. Ganga Jala Lavanika Pita. Shankaracharya